Hey everybody, it's Kate Beaters, your breakthrough success expert, and I have a really powerful training for you today. Let's see, I want to just make sure that everybody can hear me. If you're there and you can hear me, I just want to make sure that that is going. Let's see, oh good, I got some likes and hearts, awesome. So I want to do this training actually about what to do during this whole crazy coronavirus. I want to teach you something very, very important, and please share this after you've watched it. Share this information. So this is actually something I talked about this morning with my clients. I'm here for an intensive, beautiful, beautiful campus is where I host my events, and it's just so lovely here. But of course, with everything going on, my clients were a bit stressed. I mean, most people are, with the coronavirus and how it's affecting their business. And so what the focus was today, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about, by me teaching them what I taught them, everything shifted around. In fact, one attendee just said to me, within a matter of a couple of hours, she said, I feel a million times better. So right now, we all know with the coronavirus, everybody, I won't say everybody, a lot of people are freaking out. They're seeing things change. Things aren't going as planned. There's a lot of fear, a lot of worry. People are buying tons of rolls of toilet paper. Things are being canceled. My event's still going on, but just so everyone knows, but there's a lot of stuff going on, creating a lot of panic. And you add that on top to what's going on politically, the political climate right now. There's also the stock market. I mean, so many different things are going on right now. They're just creating, in a lot of people's minds, just a lot of chaos. And I think the biggest fear too that I'm hearing over and over again is this uncertainty. Like, you don't know, when is it going to be over? Like, I want to know, like, next week at 5 p.m. it's all going to be resolved. And the truth is that nobody can predict that. You can listen to one expert, they'll tell you, well, it's going to end in a couple of weeks, and someone else will say the summer, and someone else will say it's going to go on forever. I mean, everybody's saying something different. So the truth is that nobody really knows. And so what I want to talk to you about today is that the very, very best action you can take to help yourself, whether you're in corporate America, whether you're an entrepreneur, whatever it is to stay grounded during all this. So what do I really mean by staying grounded? What does that mean? And the way I liken is that you can't really see here through the if I flipped it around, but there's lots of trees outside here. And if you looked out where you live in or where you are and there's trees outside, they all have roots very firmly planted in the ground. Now here in New England, we get 4 seasons. In the summer, we get the a lot of heat. In the fall, there's a lot of wind and rain. That's when the trees, lose their leaves. In the winter, well, this winter was an exception, but typically we've got snow and sleet and storms and all freezing weather, all sorts of stuff. And then in the spring, we're back to rain again. But the thing is that these trees still stay standing. Maybe they lose a couple of branches, maybe they lose some leaves, but the trees themselves are still standing. And why is that? It's because their roots are so firmly planted in the ground. So that's why I kind of liken that to being grounded, is that the more you can have yourself firmly planted in the ground, that no matter what's happening, whether it's the stock market, whether it's this virus or another disease being passed around, whether it's the fires in Australia, whether it's the presidential election, whether it's whatever chaos is going on, that they're just creating this sense of uncertainty and more importantly, really a sense of powerlessness. Because you and I ourselves can't do much about these big, huge situations. We can only kind of take care of ourselves. And so that's what I'm really suggesting, is take care of yourself. And so when I, this past week or two with the virus, I actually had several speaking gigs. These were paid speaking gigs, mind you. big, important speaking gigs get postponed. And it threw me off center. So being grounded doesn't mean you never get thrown off. But the thing is, what I do know about is that I was able to work with my coach, and my coach helped reground me. So therefore, I was able to come back with a place of confidence. Because when you don't have that confidence, if you're totally focused on, let's say, the chaos, the uncertainty, the fear, that makes you play it small, makes you afraid, makes your creativity kind of disappear, and you just are in a place of stress. And so that's when people kind of they shrink. And of course, when that's going on, you can't expand. You can't have things keep going the way you want. Now, the way my coach helped me is that, he used tapping with my clients today. I used more tapping, which is probably the most powerful mindset technique I know, as well as I pulled in some neuroscience and I pulled in some other laws of attraction and some mindset work. And that's what helped shift them so quickly. And we're going to continue to work on this because I want them to be grounded. And so if that's something that you want help with, contact me, info@katebeaters.com. It's info@katebeaters.com. But one other thing I want to share with you besides being grounded, and again, grounded just going to put you back in that place of power, okay? As opposed to feeling like you're a victim and you've got no control of what's going on and you're just susceptible to, and then you have this fear like, oh no, there's no more events, I'll have no more clients, I'll have no more this, I'll have no more, my company's closing or whatever the fears are popping up. Instead, it puts you back to knowing that you can still be safe and you can still create the life you want. And that's so super critical. Now, one thing I want to share with you that we also discussed, and this is really important to be aware of, is that when things happen, and things will happen, trust me, it may not be a virus. The last couple of years, I experienced my parents' health going up and down, more down, unfortunately. I also experienced the loss of both of my parents. And nothing, when you go through grief, nothing shakes you up like that. And you are going to go through stuff, whether you're going to go through grief, whether you're going to go through relationships breaking up, you getting ill, people getting ill, whatever, as well as all this other stuff that affects us. That besides being grounded, one thing that really helped my clients kind of center again was to be aware of, something called being broken open, which I actually first learned about from Elizabeth Lesser. And then I've kind of, who I love, she's like a heroine of mine, but I've kind of taken it and expanded on it with my teachings in some ways. So just to give you an example, if this glass, you see, and let's say I dropped it in the hallway outside, they've got really beautiful, I think it's like Italian tile, and say I drop it. Well, it's all going to shatter, right? Well, we seem to think we got to put it back together. So if I sat out there with super glue, right, and trying to find all the little pieces in the shards of glass and try to create this, odds are I probably couldn't do it. And if I did, it probably would look like crap, right? You'd see all sorts of lines here, missing things, and see how this is really smooth. It wouldn't be smooth, it'd be all bumpy, and it would be really, really ugly. And it probably have some gaps in there too. But that's a kind of our expectation that when something bad happens, whether it's the virus affecting us in our careers or businesses or whatever, that we have to kind of pull everything back and make it look exactly like how this looked before. And I want to share with you that also part of being grounded is being open to maybe something's going to shift and change. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, but it also means being open to what comes next into your life and taking that opportunity to say, how do I want things to look? Both times my parents passed away, I didn't plan on it, but I opened myself up to say, so what do I need to shift and change to make me even happier in my life, to give me even better life? And so I really want to suggest that to you, that as you see things changing, instead of trying to make your glass be glued back together again, maybe it's time to make some shifts and changes as well. So the message I want to leave with you is work on being grounded. That is what's going to help you more so than anything. I also want to say, please don't go to the stores and buy all the toilet paper. Leave some for the people behind you. That only is a fear-based behavior, right? So kind of push that away. Work on just being grounded. And if I can help you, info@katebeaters.com. The work I do is very, very powerful. And that's what I really want for you. Or come to one of my events. I've got an event coming up in a few weeks. So please share this. And again, don't put that pressure, don't put that expectation on yourself that you've got to make this glass be glued back together and look like this, because it's not going to. So until we meet again, be brilliant.